Uric Classic Whole Body Tonic is a dietary supplement, not a drug. Therefore, it is useful to affect the structure and/or function of your body in various ways, but it is not intended to and will not cure, mitigate, treat, or prevent any disease. Individual testimonials may not be everyone's experience and do not constitute scientific evidence. Uric Corporation does not make any drug or treatment claims for its product.
So hello everyone, once again, we are back with more great success stories. This, of course, is what we do best and what we do most, and it's done so that you all can hear another good story. Maybe this story tonight is something that you are going through, so you'll feel much better having someone else tell it to you. And of course, as many times we have this call, I have my pal Betty as my co-host, and she is on the line tonight because, of course, Betty found Roger, and so I want her to tell you exactly how this happened, how it came together, and why Roger's here. So, Betty, take it away.
Hi, Anthony. How you doing?
All righty.
Good. Yeah, it's a real pleasure tonight to have Roger as our guest. Roger actually has been on the JC Tonic for just a very short while, just a couple of months actually. And what really impressed me about Roger the very first time I spoke to him was he said that he wanted to help people, and I could tell right away he was going to do this with his heart. And he said, there's so many sick people out there, and he said, I really want to touch a lot of lives. And as soon as he said that, I knew right away, of course, that we were going to get along very well. And I was just so impressed with him. So Roger is 69 years young and doesn't have any health challenges that I'm really aware of, but just really wanted to start the product and get the results. And once he started to feel those results, he actually started by offering the product to a neighbor who is very ill. And I think after doing that, Roger knew the value of the product and what it actually can do for other people. So since he started, he never really, thought about a business opportunity. Now that he has quite a few clients and he's recommending the product, I think that's something in the future he really might want to get involved in. So I'll let Roger take it from here. He can tell you his feelings on the product and maybe what's happening with some of the people he's introduced the product to. So welcome, Roger. Thanks for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Betty. Thank you, Anthony. It's been a real pleasure to be introduced to this call. Like Betty said, I'm very interested in helping people, and I kind of want to share my story here today. I'm hoping that it touched somebody's lives, and hopefully, other people can, have the benefits that I got from the tonic. But like Betty said, I'm 69 years old and don't really have any major health issues. I've always been, a very active person. And I've always been helping people and giving, and it's always been a gift that, I enjoy. But nonetheless, I officially heard about this product about 6 months ago, and, it was nothing but good. I started the same way, testimonial after testimonial, and got to the point where I thought, I'm reaching the age where my metabolism isn't functioning like it used to be. I'm starting to gain weight. I was always, a healthy 175 pounds. Now I'm getting to the point where I'm reaching 220, and, I'm feeling sluggish. I'm having some back issues. Got to the point to where started working out at the gym to no avail, not losing no weight. just really searching for a method to stay vibrant, healthy. So I started on this JC Tonic. Of course, like everyone, I knew that it was going to be a situation where you had to get started and keep on it and get your body adapted and so forth. And so I did. And to my disbelief, not only was I feeling more healthy, I felt like doing something. And so during these tough times, I started some home projects that I stay very busy at. And I've got a lot of stuff accomplished here at home because of my good health. I started losing weight. Like I say, I was pushing 220. Now I'm down to 176.
Oh, wow.
Now I go. Now I can't go enough. Now I'm to the point to where I'm not only getting all these things done for myself, but I'm able to help my family and their projects and so forth. And I still help my son in his business. Like I say, I had numerous businesses that I turned over, and so I'm still active in those to some degree.
Roger, can I just jump in there for a second before we lose the weight thing? What you said, going from 220 to 176, that's like, that is so, it's like a miracle. I mean, because you were drinking the tonic, or did you do other things?
Well, this is what I think happened. It just, the tonic got me to the point to where I just felt so much more positive. Not only that, but it seemed to decrease my appetite. And before, I probably ate more than I needed to. Not only that, but I knew I wasn't eating all the right things. And it clears your mind to the point where not only do you feel better, but you understand what's happening to you, and you continue to do better at it. So it was a situation to where you wake up in the morning, instead of your back hurting and you turn right around and go back to bed, you're up and at 'em, and you're saying, thank you, Lord, for this great day. And you just appreciate the great weather, and you just appreciate feeling healthy, and you just appreciate life. And I mean, it gives you so much more opportunity to just feel like living. And
boy, oh boy, that is just, isn't that just it, Betty? That's it, on the nail on the head.
Yeah, for sure, Anthony. And now you're doing work after all these years. Well, I don't know what you did before, Roger, but, this is really meaningful, just sharing that JC Tonic and helping others. I mean, that's blessing your life now on a daily basis to see changes in other people.
Well, like I say, it's so difficult when you understand how you feel and you understand how you got there, and then you see someone that is really struggling, and the hardest part is transferring your knowledge over to them the easiest way possible. And I feel at this point, the main reason that things are starting to really happen to me in terms of transferring this information is because not only do people know and trust me, but they've seen the transformation that I've taken, and it's beyond belief, and they say, wow, I want to be like you. So that is probably the main reason why a lot of these people are starting to believe and want to get involved with this JC Tonic.
Wow,
and
that's
so
beautiful. Yeah. And they, before and after, we have pictures all the time on our email blasts, and people sometimes don't believe it. They don't even think it's the same person. The one we did last week with Lenny, and they showed his picture. I mean, he was dying before he got onto the tonic. And those pictures are worth 1,000 words, just to show.
Probably the hardest part that I have is close friends and relatives that have been doctoring for years and years and years, and they are so indoctrinated into this doctoring that's all they know, and they're to the point to where they won't try anything different because it's not recommended by their doctor.
Well, join the club, Roger. We've been doing it. I've been talking to people like that for 60 to 70 years, and I still have people who, after me begging them now, after 30 years, they still think I'm a fool.
I know.
Don't worry about that, because that's the way it is. 8 out of 10 will think we're nuts, but I concentrate on the 2 that say, you know what, maybe. And it's a shame, sad, that I watch the other 8 people wither away and get body parts cut out over the years, and then die much earlier than they should, when I know darn well they could have had a much happier.
Well, it's actually kind of ironic how it happens. One will listen and the other one will ask numerous questions, and nothing ever really develops. But then again, I've had situations, like about a week ago, I'm talking to this lady that, immediately, and we've known each other our whole lives, immediately she's like, wow, you really look good. Wow, you lost all this weight. Wow, what'd you do? And,
sure, but because she saw you before and she saw you again, that's right.
Well, and so that's kind of how the conversation started. And then she continued to tell me, and these people are 5 years younger than I. They're still running their business, and she's complaining about all this doctoring they're doing. Her husband has diabetes. Her husband has heart issues. She's got this, she's got that. All she gets done is trying to take care of all these hospital bills and listen to all these doctors and all this medication, yada, 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 yada.
That alone is depressing as can be.
And so then immediately when I told her about JC Tonic, her antennas went up and she listened. And immediately she called Betty, and Betty gave her some information. And the main reason that I like Betty to do this for me is because I just have a hard time answering a lot of their questions about the doctors and about this and about that and so forth and so on. Not only that, but what I'm trying to do is get them to the point to where they get started and then they can order their own product. And, I just don't really want to be a warehouse.
Well, I do the same thing as Betty does, and I'm still doing it after all these years. And I do it because, in my humble opinion, it's the most important part of the business. It's that first communication, that getting the person over the hump and getting them to take that first bottle. Because after that, once they see what's going on, I bet even in your case, Roger, you probably had to listen to 100 testimonials before you said, you know what, it must be true. But a lot of people are like that. They said, it's impossible. How can it be true? Because we've never heard of things like this. You're right about the way we are brainwashed in the way medicine is supposed to be, not the reality. And the reality is that this old body of ours is pretty capable if you give it a helping hand once in a while.
Well, not only that, but I know for a fact that once you get yourself to the point to where you get energized, to where you are truthfully believing that this is working for you, that's when the clock starts running. And I've seen it in myself. I've seen it in other people. And just like my buddy, I asked him, I says, what's your wife think of this? Well, she doesn't say much, but of course she is really pretty run down of 4 years of taking care of him and so forth and so on. And after 4 years of failure with the doctors, she's depressed to the point where she thinks that there's nothing out there that works. And of course then he's got family and friends and just like everybody else that needs all this thing. And so I told him, I said, you really, number one, need to do this for you. And when you do this for you, now your wife will see results, so she'll benefit. Now your family will see results, so they'll benefit. Now your friends will see results, so they'll benefit. just think of what you could accomplish by doing this.
Well, I think, Roger, to give you a big helping hand in a case like that story Betty mentioned about this fellow Lenny in last week's email, Betty will make sure you get your hands on it. But listen to his story from beginning to end, because he goes through the story that he started at 23, being diagnosed with all these killer health issues, and by 37 they told him they couldn't do anything, basically send him home to die. And when you see the before and after picture, and then the after picture 20 years later, he looks 20 years younger and 20 times more healthy. I mean, that kind of a story with those pictures, just show it to these people, because that's what they're thinking. That's what that lady's thinking. Yeah, well, but how is it possible? But when they see those pictures and they hear that story, that story is so compelling that I don't think there's anybody that could have been or will ever be as sick as he was. Because, I mean, man, oh man. So go and have a listen, and maybe just have it on your phone and click it on when you're talking with people and say, hey, listen to this. That may be a big help, to get the message.
Well, and I agree with that. But again, just like in my case, there's nothing better than physical results right in front of you. And just about every case up till now has been because of the transformation that I made. To be quite frank, I'm still amazed at the transformation that I made in the short period of time that I did it, because up to this point, I heard nothing but stories about how everybody's in the same boat, working out and doing this and weight loss program after weight loss program. And it was almost as if a miracle happened and I got involved into this, and now I really want to share it with a lot of people, because there's nothing better than your health, especially at this point in time when you start to get to retirement age. I mean, what is more to life than your health? And,
that's right, and the quality of life you'll have for the next number of years that you'll be on this planet,
Exactly.
And one thing too, Roger, over the years, I mean, I've experienced a lot of people who have, laughed at me, told me I'm absolutely crazy, and including family. I mean, I still get that. But I knew right from the start that this was something I had to do. I knew it was my life's calling, and I knew at the end of the day when I go to bed every night that I feel good about what I do. So a lot of people, when they've been so negative, what I do every single week is when I get that email blast with our last conference call, like yours will come out and I'm going to send your testimonial out to everybody I know, even the people who for the last 5 or even 10 years, I go back on my emails and I'll just keep sending those out. And eventually those people, something in that email blast will get to them. If it's not me talking, if it's yourself or somebody else, something's going to hit home. And so many of them as well, they're older people, they're experiencing health problems, and they're really, really tired of being on all the medication just to keep them going, and they don't feel good. They're getting very, very bad side effects, so something will hit them when the timing is right. It's not always right for people, but they'll come back. I've had a lot of people come back over the years and say, God, I wish I'd tried that JC Tonic like years ago. And I said, well, it's never too late, guys. You can still change things and turn your life around. So don't give up on anybody. And don't be discouraged. I know it's hard when you see people actually dying in front of you, but just keep at it, and when the timing's right, God will open their eyes. I believe that, and they'll get on.
I think the thing that frustrates me the most is the fact that, I talk to these people and tell them about it, and right away, well, what's in it, yada, yada, yada. I says, now, do you ask your doctor all this medication, all these shots, and all this stuff, what's in it?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Exactly.
I mean, he's filling your bag every week with all this stuff. Do you know what's in it? And, I just get so frustrated because everybody is so doctor prone.
Well, not everybody's going to be as smart as we are, Roger. So we have to accept that.
I do, but when it's people you love and when it's people that you want to help, and
Yes,
it gets
I know.
frustrating.
But just don't give up, no matter how hard it can be.
Well, you don't have to worry about me giving up. I mean,
no, I don't think I do.
This is going to be a lifetime event for me.
Yeah.
Because I've seen a whole different light, but I not only appreciate what I have, but I really feel blessed about being able to share it with other people.
Yeah, and that brings joy, to myself, to Anthony, I'm sure, when we hear, you're doing this for the right reasons. I mean, that's why we're all here. We're very dedicated, and
well,
we
even in the company business and in the business end of it, Roger, we have always from the very beginning told people, if you're looking for commission, all you got to do is practice the mission.
Yeah.
If you don't do the mission, the commissions will dry up. Do the mission, you don't even have to worry about the rest.
I never really shared everything that I've done for a living, but, I've had numerous businesses. I was in auto repair and auto sales and auto parts and numerous other businesses and so forth. And a lot of times people ask me, well, how do you do it? How do you get so much business? How do you stay so busy? And I've always shared with them, I says, all you got to do is treat people with respect, and you get it back, and you never worry about the money. You just do your job, and you treat people right. And that's always been my motto, and that's why I've always been successful in business, and I guess that's why God has blessed me with the health that I have. And it's just...
When you do that, Roger, no one ever questions the bill when they get it,
Well, not only that, but it's just so much more enjoyable doing business. And I'm blessed. I'm in a small community, so I don't have to deal with a lot of the stress that you have in the bigger cities and so forth and so on. And in my area, I call it God's country. A lot of people really appreciate having somebody to take care of their vehicles and somebody they can trust. I mean, it's been a real blessing. But again, this health thing is something that you just can't replace.
So tell me, Roger, you mentioned the big change in weight. Just before we close off the call, what else happened health-wise since you've been on the JC Tonic?
Well, like I say, before this, not only was I carrying too much weight, I had lots of lower back pain. And I think it was due to the fact that trying to bend over...
The weight's causing a lot of that problem, I guess.
Yeah. In fact, about 2 years ago, I've always kind of noticed a little bit of this lower back pain. I got this inverter, which is like a bed that inverts you upside down.
Sure.
And I started using that, but I had a hard time balancing it out, and I had a hard time getting on it to where you felt that I could get back off of it safely, and I just never really used it that much. But since I lost weight and during the course of losing weight, I started using that again. And basically all it does is you kind of pull your spine apart so you don't get all that nerve pain and so forth. And now I was able to use that successfully, and I don't know, my back pains went away. Of course, I think what happens, tonic not only oxidizes your blood, but it gets everything working again.
Well, you listen to that call we were referring to, the Lenny fellow. In his call, he tells us the story about he ends up going back to the chiropractor who he had seen many, many times. And when he arrived there, the chiropractor said, well, you've been a mess, and, I'll do the best I can. And when he examined him, he exclaimed that his spine, which he had scoliosis, is completely straight again. And he couldn't just believe it. He said, what did you do? What did you do? And that's because the body just repaired itself, regenerated itself. It was able to put itself back to a straightened position. So people will see that takes a lot longer than just a month or two. But little by little, those kind of things happen as well, because when the body starts to repair itself, it looks after everything, and it will get to everything eventually. So you're just going to see more and more great stuff happen as time goes by, Roger.
I'm looking forward to it. Again, it's been a real pleasure being introduced to you, Anthony, and also Betty. You're both godsend for this program. And it's a situation to where you always you give and you always get back. And
that's right.
Like I did that all my life in my business. And now I just feel really blessed to be able to take the opportunity to share some of the great things that's been happening in my life. Hopefully that it will bless someone else.
Roger, we really, really appreciate you being on the call and telling the folks those kind of things, because you're right. It's the whole picture that's important. When people actually really do pay it forward, I think there's something spiritually or something up above. Something happens somewhere when people actually do someone a good service. The golden rule and all that great stuff really does work. So just keep it up, and please keep us up to date with everything that's happening. And as you've already discovered, Betty is happy to talk to anybody that you need to have spoken with, and I do the same thing, so never hesitate. I take calls from people that some of them don't even buy a bottle. I mean, it doesn't bother me. I want them to understand and think on it, and when they're ready, they're ready. You know?
Let me tell the folks that are listening what happened today. I was just sitting around about to make some phone calls, and then Roger called me, and he said to me, I need to order tomorrow. And I had told him that if he wanted to come on and do a testimonial on our conference call, the next time he ordered, he could get a free bottle. So he said, I'd like to come on and get my free bottle because I want to place an order right away. So I said, okay, let me call Anthony. Let's see if he's available. So I called Anthony.
And here I was kneeling on the pew in church.
Yeah, and within 20 minutes, we were back on the phone, and I said, okay, Roger, we're going to call you back in a half an hour, and we're going to do this call. So, you know, that's how wonderful Anthony is, first of all. I mean, I'm always praising him up, but anyway, like, he just drops everything to try to help, and especially if you're going to do a conference call, you know, he's there for you.
Well, and to add to your story a little bit, Betty, as I've explained to you, I'm a very active person, and today being Sunday, I always have my whole list of everything that I need to get done, and unfortunately the weather, you know, it's raining today and so forth, and so I was going through my list, and I says, well, this would be a perfect opportunity for me to get with Betty and to get this all done today. And so everything happens for a reason.
Yeah. And what did you tell me, Roger, that the free bottle you're going to get tomorrow, you're going to give it to somebody?
Well, I don't have any left from that last 6-bottle order because I've already given those away, because the first thing people tell me is, well, I can't afford it. And so I try to get them in a situation where they at least try it, so at least they can get their health motivated enough to go ahead and get energized enough so not only can they make a living, but they can afford to go ahead and get the JC Tonic. I mean,
and there's all kinds of ways they can get the bottles for free too, you know, and we can go over all that. I'm sure you know most of it, but, you know, we can discuss that again. And when I talk to your people, I'm always happy to tell them, you know, how they can earn their bottles for free or get some money off of them. So it's never a problem.
And whatever you're saying, Betty and Roger, everybody listening on this call, they can all do exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Because that's what everybody does. And the success that we've had with people is because people have put in the time and effort to actually get them turned around so they understand. And again, 8 of the people maybe will tell you you're a fool, but look, I just keep knocking on the doors anyway, and some open, some don't. You do the best you can in this world, and whatever you can do, the people appreciate it, and you feel good. So,
yeah.
Amen.
Thank you so much, Roger, for coming on this afternoon and doing this for us. It's great. Really.
You're very welcome. It's been a pleasure. God bless everybody.
Yeah.
And I hope that I was able to touch some lives today.
I'm sure you have.
We're sure you did, and we appreciate it, Roger. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Eddie, great once again to have you and Roger. Nice chatting with you. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you, Anthony.
Okay.
And thank you, Roger. We'll talk to you later.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Don't forget, take an ounce and feel the bounce.
Bye.
Bye.